Good set. Meeting of the Preservation Board is now in order. Will the secretary or the secretary's designee please call the roll?
I'll just do it. Richard Callow,
Here.
Kevin Hamaker,
Here.
Stanley Fowler,
Present.
Ruth Kenoy, Michael Colleen,
Here.
David Richardson,
Here.
Brett and Ryan, and Anthony Robinson. David Warren.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, has anyone read the minutes from October 27, 2025? And if so, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes from October 27th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. I'll call the roll.
Kevin Hamaker,
I mean,
Kevin Hamaker,
Yes.
Stanley Fowler,
Aye.
Ruth Kenoy,
Yes.
Mike Colleen,
Yeah.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Richard Callow.
yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, commissioners, look down through the agenda and tell me if anybody needs to recuse themselves from discussion of any of these items, and if this is the order that we want to hear them in. Okay, hearing no recusals and no suggestions for change of order, let's begin with the agenda item A. Bob, you've got an announcement or two to make first?
First up, well, there's nobody else in the waiting room right now, so won't need to make that announcement.
Yes, for the record.
But for the record, if you are in the waiting room and you want to comment on an item, please send your name and the address you want to speak on to the send messages here tile on the Zoom. So,
Agenda item A, please.
okay, so A and B were both deferred last month or continued onto this month, so staff could look at a new proposal for windows for the two buildings on Russell that we discussed a little bit last time. So we're still on the record, still tell the truth. We've already entered it into the record information. I need to enter in a few more items to the record that you also have in your packets. We have letters of conditional support from the Shaw Neighborhood Improvement Association. And also official approval from Alderman Vasquez for the windows as well. And I'll get into what those conditions are. So just to quickly refresh what's going on. Should I do both at the same time, Richard? What do you have a preference on this?
Do one presentation, but we'll vote on each item separately.
So first up, 4172 Russell. This is the property in question. This is the location. This is, again, there's back-to-back buildings here, corner of Clem and Russell and the adjacent property. The shot on the left indicates the location of the building from Clem. So you can see the street visible windows in question are the two bays that project off the front. See them down the street. And again, this is looking west on Russell. You can see the windows again. The applicant is proposing to replace a portion of these windows, not the basement windows and not anything decorative or leaded glass or arc glass of any kind. So these are the ones in the front that we would like to see with historic replacements. As you can see, if you're looking down the street, we just want like the first few bays, the first bay of windows to be replacement windows, nothing on the side past that first bay of windows on the sides. Okay, so last time it was initially done with vinyl windows, then the applicant has proposed to do aluminum from the same company, but they have some different specs to it. So this is the current window that is being proposed. They are aluminum. Shaw does allow for aluminum windows. However, staff does have issues with this product. In the past, we have looked at this product and had some visual concerns about it, primarily with the lift rail. This is just this speck on the side, you can see that. The lift rail is very narrow. Historically, you're gonna see a lift rail of about 3 inches. And you see on the right, that's the original wood window. It's got a beefier lift rail. Also, these are really flat windows. There's not much of a defined putty line you would see along the glass edge where the stiles and rails hit the window itself. And then also, this window has kind of an odd little, I don't know, extra piece of framing that kind of projects down where the meeting rails line up. See that little round piece right there? That's unusual. We don't see that very often in standard compliant windows. So I told the applicant those are our concerns with the windows on the outset. And also being insert windows, I did not put that in my staff report because to me it's an undefined issue right now. I do not know how they'll be installed. They are insert windows, so I'm not sure how they'll look in the opening. So those are the concerns with this product. Moving on. Early on, when Weston sent me the proposal, I kind of mucked this up a little bit. On the right, this is a standard spec that we hand out to folks with a compliant window. As you can see, it has those dimensions we like, the taller lift rail, a more defined putty line, and there's really nothing obscuring that offset of the meeting rail. And there's also pretty much more of a proper installation method, not knowing how it will look as a frame in a frame being an insert window. So as you can see, our concern is if you do that frame in a frame, the two big things we see usually that's wrong, down at the sill, you do that wooden sill in place and you plop in a new sill on top of that, and that kind of makes the beefier down below, but it gives a different appearance you would see historically. And then at the top, it can also be blocked down. You just don't know what you're going to encounter when you put that frame in there. You rip the sashes out, the new frame going in, you never know the condition of each window. Weston did send me, and it's in your packet as well, information about what they feel the new window will look like installed. So you have some specs about costs and then also an install. I happened to pop out today to look at the site to get some more pictures for the agenda, and Weston was out there. Thankfully, he let me know where that picture came from. It comes from a property in the Targo East neighborhood, which does not have regulations for windows. But I went out there and looked at it, got a few more pictures to kind of get some more a sense of the product in the openings and how it would look. So I have the picture that he showed there at his whole presentation in here. But this is our concern. And I'll show you a few more pictures and I have a good side by side. You do insert windows, you don't know what's going to look like because the frame will stick out below the existing frame of brick mold. And that's what this kind of illustrates. Took a few different pictures of windows at that location. To me, this is way the more illustrative issue we have. So on the left is the building in question. It has the original window. Sorry, people in here. And on the right is the closest on-site example I could find to a flat window, frame in a frame with the product in question. And to me, it's off. You see a lot more of the existing frame. It doesn't really hide the issue that there's a small lip rail. Now, he'll discuss about how there's the visual look of the insert frame, maybe bulking up that bottom sill, getting more of a profile like a historic lift rail. But if you were to open that window or even, look at it closely, it throws it off. And staff does not view this as an appropriate installation. Across our historic district, we would not really allow something like this because it is way too blocked down. If you were to remove some more of the interior framing, maybe you can make it fit better. But to me, you see way too much of the existing other proposed frame. And it just looks off to us. So we believe it is not appropriate installation if this is the basis for it. Now, I don't know who's going to do the work for them. I don't know. And that's my concern is how can we judge what this will look like if we don't have a real world example at his property or really good drawing showing what it's going to look like. I really just can't say. Can only base it on, this example right here. So you can maybe talk about that some. So, given that, our concern, and I'll come back to the presentation in a second. Our thoughts still stand on the first building. It's just what you can see from the street on the front facade The first bay of windows in 4172. And then on 4176, it's, excuse me. These windows. Brett and Ryan. It's these windows in question right there. On the sides, those windows, and the rear windows. Those ones we believe to be historic replacement windows installed correctly. So, given the new information, staff does recommend that the board uphold our denial. Any questions for me?
You have added to our packet communications from the Alder and from the Neighborhood Association.
Correct.
What do they say?
Sorry, and it comes down to the concern about them being installed correctly. And how we will judge that is gonna be tough, because all I really have is the example that was sent to me over in Tower Grove East. I don't have really, detailed, drawings from on site showing how it will actually look in the opening itself. So I have to base it on what's been provided and previous experience with how installs go. So I don't know how to guarantee this without seeing a real world example. I did ask Mr. Weston to do one for me instead of push back his timeline too much. I said, hey, can you do one on the back of the side so I can see what it will look like in real world to show you guys? He said he can't do that, and you can explain that more there. So I don't know how to guarantee this. I don't know how to guarantee that they will be installed correctly. Yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
When you say installed correctly, so are you saying that example from Tower Grove East, that they're not installed correctly, or they're installed correctly, you just don't think that fits the parameters?
I think that's more appropriate. Yeah, that doesn't fit the parameters per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is there a way to install this particular product in the way that it would then be approved? Or is the product the problem, or is the installation the problem?
It's both. And staff's eyes, it is both. It is the product itself, which has those deviations from historic window that I discussed. And then it's also the install method.
Now I'm confused about the letters. Are the letters saying we're fine with the product, but we're concerned about the install?
Yes. Yes.
Fine with the product.
Right. But maintains window sizes that closely match the original openings with minimal variation and installs the windows to maximize exterior reveal of inserted frame. And you don't think that example in Tower Grove East fulfills those two bullets?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify your opinion.
Yeah, because what you're seeing, it says minimize frame, and what you're seeing on the right is mostly frame. That's what you're seeing on the outside. You're seeing brick mold, original stop, and that's the new frame. And then there's a channel for a screen, and also can act as a stop. And then there's the style. So you're seeing mostly frame.
And would there be a way to install that window in a way that you see less frame?
You have to rip out more of the interior frame.
That's what I thought. I just,
Yeah. And that's the only way to do it with this product at least.
So when they say installs the windows to minimize exterior reveal of inserted frame, like that's not a thing. You can't install it in a way that minimizes its reveal, because this is how it would have to be installed.
Again, I don't know how they did this. I'm assuming that they did not remove much of the existing frame, because you're seeing a lot of new frame in that opening. So without seeing how they did it and seeing what they removed on the inside, I really don't know. I truly don't know. And that thankfully this was there. They've wrapped most of these windows at this site, but this showed that with the brick mold exposed. But I mean, short of watching them do it, I would have.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Commissioners, questions for Bob? Online commissioners, questions for Bob. David?
Yeah, I have a question. So the way I read both the alderpersons and the neighborhoods was the letter was that they want, and Mr. Weston's committed that he'll replace all the windows. So that would be more than what you circled. Is that what they really want?
Yeah,
So-
they like the idea. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Richard. Oh, David, but
Well, so aren't there, well, that would be, okay. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we wouldn't have any real say in it. I mean, if he wants to do it for the sake of consistency, and if that satisfies the neighborhood, I guess that's a point in his favor. You know, that's how I read that too. But to me, it's like, we don't have, we would not review that, require that, so that might bump up his costs in that regard. But yeah, I mean, I guess they want it to be fully aluminum and no vinyl whatsoever. Yeah, I found that point to be interesting as well.
Okay, and then I guess you said you had asked Mr. Weston if he could, sorry, Mr. Harding, if he could kind of, did I understand, mock up one for you quickly?
Yes,
Well, just theoretically, if we voted to allow him to do this, could a condition be that he has to, because I know his time and his, you know, his financing costs and things would increase if we don't get through an approval today. Could we, if we had it conditioned upon that there be a mock-up that was acceptable to you, would that, I mean, could you then, does that seem like a reasonable kind of suggestion?
it does, but what I would like you to do then, if that is the case, I would like the board to at least weigh in on, like, this example that you see before you now. Do you find this acceptable, and do you think that this meets the spirit of the conditional approvals given by the neighborhood and the alderperson? If you do, then that gives me some leeway to approve something. If you think that looks okay. But if you say minimize that by half or something like that, that gives me some more direction than to bless whatever he does in the field as being appropriate and meet, you know, your condition.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Alderman Ryan with us?
Mr. Ryan is here.
I don't see his head.
So, Mr. Narayan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. It's not tiling up as everybody on there, so it's
I only see one head at a time.
one head at a time, okay? As they speak.
Bob, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Mostly because I'm newer. Have we seen examples where we have seen, and maybe in Shaw, where there's windows replaced and the replacements haven't been acceptable? Like, is there an example where, and I'm not asking you to find it now, I'm just saying, there are examples maybe we can point Mr. Harding to say, hey, here's a situation where someone replaced windows with a product and it met the requirements. I'm gonna ask you that on the
Sure,
spot.
no, as an
but-
insert window or as like a full frame or sash only? Because I guess the point of contention here is the insert process, so is
So
he an
the
insert? I don't want to speak off the cuff, but I don't know, but I have to look at it. I mean, some companies can do it, you know, a little bit better, honestly, but they're more expensive, like. We have seen like the renewals of the world do a better job at pushing it in where you're getting a. The purists may not like that sometimes, but I mean, there are some that can do it better just based on the level of craftsmanship. Right.
Mr. Kelly?
Bob, you said, you know, can the board give you some direction on how to rate these things or whatever? Isn't that in the standards though from this neighborhood? It's too vague.
You know, that's the thing, is Shaw has such older standards that are, you know, it just says detail should match. So if you look at the actual language we're basing our review on. It's, you know, details on structure shall be maintained in similar size, detail, material. Details on renovated buildings shall be compatible and existing details in terms of design, material, and scale. Doors, windows, and other new. Sorry.
Should be in the same.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Vertical proportions.
Thank you very much. I know. All place, but yeah, it's just that, just doesn't get into the nuances that other districts say where you must replicate, where you must, you know, have a certain width. It's just, it should match detailed, vertical and certain proportions, that's it.
So you're interpreting that then to say, hey, we've got an existing window, get as close to that as possible.
Yes. We gotta look at the kind of window in terms of like what you're seeing, how it's built and how it's constructed. He is proposing to do like a bronze color for the frames, so that admittedly will minimize some concerns in terms of how it's constructed. We hope, we don't know. If you look at the one on the right, if this is the window itself, you see a lot of pieces put together to make that frame. I mean, you see how they meet, stiles and rails meet, you see a lot of joints that are really exposed. you see a lot more components you would see on a wood window. So it's also kind of a quality issue as well. So does this frame and window layout look like a historic wood window? Not necessarily. A lot of pieces that make up that top. So it's just kind of all over the place.
So they haven't installed any of these yet,
No,
and have you given them manufacturers that you would approve?
yes,
They've rejected them,
it's a cost issue. You can speak for that.
thank you.
Okay, commissioners? Okay, Mr. Harding. We're still under oath. Is there anything you'd like?
Yeah, but I also wanted, there's another issue had both windows on it. There's that. Can I scroll up?
Just use the
I want to just note one thing, and I'm gonna come back to this, but the window is
Let me
up
interrupt you before you begin.
under,
No, that's
Oh.
that you introduce for the record, anything that you want to add to what you've already introduced.
yeah, I sent all this in.
Say, you'd like to introduce your portion of the power.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry. I would like to introduce
Your portion of the presentation.
my portion of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Now we have a record.
Sounds great. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna note this real fast and come back to it, but if you look at these two windows, these have triple track storm windows on them. Every window on this property does. So the one that Bob used earlier in this side by side, that storm track has come off over the years at some point. Not most of our windows, you do not even see the wood window. Just very much for the record, you're not seeing this old wood window, you're seeing a triple track storm window. And that can be seen also from the outside. You can kind of see that there's storm windows on all those windows. Just making a note, but that's what's visually there. All right, I'm gonna get with the rest of my presentation then. Sorry, Bob. I'm so sorry, it's fine, I'm sorry. Here you go. Here, I think I just added something by accident. All right, good. I'll put it down here. My name is Weston Harding. I'm the owner of the property. I want to first thank the board for taking your time out of your day for this. And then also last time I was here, I gave a very not great presentation. I was not in the best state of mind with my father's passing. So I apologize for that. I hope to do a better job today. I sent you a lot of information. To give you the brief history on this property, we didn't have a lot of time to look over this property when we purchased it. The property had been vacant for 2+ years, and even before that, whoever was taking care of this property wasn't doing a good job. These windows are in very disrepair state, and we didn't look at them. We started this project, and we did a very high-end upgrade on this project, new plumbing, new electric, new HVAC. We moved the kitchen to the middle of the property, creating more space, better flow. All of that saying that we also went in with not your typical apartment finish. We don't have gray walls. We have a color scheme throughout. We have custom walk-in showers. This is a very high-end finish. And we also wanted to maintain that historic nature. We worked with Burkhart's and got custom millwork done on the interior to match all of that was there, as well as the trim work on the inside also got matched with custom cut pieces. And then we also kept all the hardwood floors, and anywhere that it was in poor condition, we relaced in or relaid over new hardwood floors to give that historic nature. I say all this for two reasons. One, I want you to know that we really do appreciate the historic nature of this property. We're keeping that up on the inside, and also we're doing a very high-end finish. So when we got towards the end of this project, which was when our last meeting came apart, we had Hyperion Glass come out. They're our window person, our glass repair person. I brought Paul in. Paul took a look at the windows. He walked the property. He was like, I'll give you a quote for 1 unit because all of these are in such bad shape. You should be replacing these windows. That bid came out to $4,500, give or take, for that 1 unit. That's just repairing all of the issues that these windows have. There's a lot of weight issues, counterbalance issues. There's a lot of broken glass, not only on the wood windows, but also on the triple track storm system on the outside. Multiple breaks per area. It all needs replacement. The things that he was not able to bid because he is not a full, he's only a glass specialist and window person, is there's multiple sashes that have been deteriorated over the years, where they're starting to bow, and you would have to pull out that wood window and put in a new sash altogether at custom build. We ran our numbers, we think it'd be about $6,500 per unit to fix and repair these up into a standard that's just rental grade, but still very much not energy efficient, not what tenants want this days and age, and it's just not an efficient window for the time period we live in now. That being said, he recommended we get new windows. We reached out to our building inspector. Inspector informed us that we needed to put in new windows. We had to do historic windows, introduced us to Bob. Bob told us to have somebody come out and give us a quote. We had Millennium Properties come out, who has done multiple windows in the area. He came out, his quote for just replacing the street facing and the side, not including the 26 windows that you guys last time we heard deemed historic as well, and doing those and the back vinyl, and then the rest of the street facing historic compliant from your list, the bid came out to $238,000. I don't have that type of money on windows, especially on a project that's only a 12-unit building. That's over 15% of my budget. So that's where the main gripe of this is, that going with your historic standards, it's not feasibly responsive. I just feasibly can't make it work. So after we did that and got that bid back, and also do take note that that does not include the back 26 windows that y'all deemed need to be historic. That bid would actually be higher by $10,000 to $20,000 because of those new windows. So I heard that, I went back and I talked to the Shaw board and said, can we find something in the middle? I really think there could be something that could work. And I went and met with the manufacturer of the windows, and they came up with this aluminum window. It's a bronze color, which is an approved color from the Shaw neighborhood, and it's aluminum. I was like, that meets a lot of the good standards, and it's energy efficient and accomplishes a lot of what we want to do. So I brought it back to Shaw. Shaw said they would be in favor of it. And then also I took it to Alderman. They said they'd be in favor of it. What they want, though, is a consistency throughout the building. And I appreciate that. As a person who owns properties, I don't want to walk into one room and have a vinyl window and the other one a wood window. It's nice to have it all look consistent. And I told him I would do that. I would make all of the windows consistent looking so everything looks nice. So that's where we're at. A couple things to add on why this property has sat vacant. I found out later after talking to multiple other developers, it's because of the windows. They looked at it, the building is an anomaly of a property. When these guidelines are put in, I believe they're for the general property that's in the area. Shaw is predominantly created for 2 flats and single family homes. On those properties, you have anywhere from 25 to 28 windows. In most cases, you have 3 to 5 windows street facing. That means 15% of your windows, give or take, are going to have to be historic. This property is an outlier and an anomaly. It has 180 windows in over 12 units. Out of that, 126 are historic. So that means that there's a 70%. That's 400% greater than the average property. And that's why there's such a high increase. So I'm asking the board to please approve these windows and allow me to install them. One, it's a middle ground that I think we all can compromise on. It's a building, it's a money factor that I can make work on my property. It doesn't help me greatly that I have to spend $10,000 per unit, but at $20,000 per unit does not make sense feasibly for refinancing the property, much less I don't have it in the budget. I have the support of the Shaw neighborhood. I have support of the Alderwoman as well. They did mention these things about installation, which Bob was nice enough to bring up. This window, I went and met with the installer and he showed me this window. And that's exactly how it would be installed. And he explained to me how it would be installed. So what they do is they pull out both sashes, and these windows are custom made to fit directly in. So it's as minimal as possible as a replacement window can be. And the reason why I think they wrote those standards in there about as minimal as possible is because sometimes when you install replacement windows, people will come in and add boards on either side to create a more square fit or something for them to drill into. We're not doing that. We're putting it in as minimal as possible. So that's why those are put in like that. The windows that we're gonna put in are gonna be very similar in size and nature. And they're also gonna be aluminum and bronze, so not this horrible white vinyl. It's a very, like kind comparison. The other thing just to mention, as I mentioned earlier, that rail on the outside that's 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Currently the triple track storm window on the outside is about 2.25 inches. We're talking about very minute differences here of what you're visually going to see on each side. Anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch difference. What this really allows us to, by improving my windows, is it allows me to beneficially and economically put in a very nice window. It'll be consistent throughout. I'm backed by the Shaw neighborhood as well as the Alderwoman, as well as multiple neighbors. I really hope you can see that this would be a great window for us to install. It would also get rid of the horrible storm windows that are there and give us a more concise, consistent nature and a beautiful window. Do we have any questions?
I have a question. So you said that the first person you had come out was $6,500 a unit, I think, to restore the existing window?
Correct.
Okay, so that is pretty substantially cheaper than $10,000 per unit to replace the windows.
Yes, but by fixing the windows, it's 6,500, but they're still not gonna be energy efficient. They're in poor condition compared to a brand new window. A lot of this high-end finish tenants are now coming in and asking for new windows. They've lived in apartments all over South City over the years that have wood windows. They're tired of putting up the plastic. In the winter time, our winters are getting worse, our summers are getting hotter. They want new windows.
Okay.
And so the difference in price of $20,000, I'm willing to pay that to make sure that we have a very nice new window that's energy efficient.
You mentioned the Millennium bid, so was that material and installation?
Yes, that's everything. So is all the bids are,
So what type of windows were they using?
they were gonna be using
Rivertown.
Rivertown windows.
And just on those 2 facades or whatever, and not on the back, which would have been vinyl, because there's no holes there.
Well, at the time of I thought they were not capable, but now there's 26 more windows there that need to be installed because y'all deemed that last
So
time.
those were gonna be new replacement windows, but made out of historic materials, wood.
Well, not the back ones, but the rest of them.
Got it.
So there's 26 more historic, but that were originally bid as vinyl. That would have to be replaced with historic, which would be even more expensive.
Great.
Do you have documentation showing us the cost of these two materials now?
It's all in your package.
So
First, it was last month's.
that was the last one.
I have all the bids and everything from both.
Does anybody have that here?
I was gonna look at
Find that in my.
Governor asked any questions.
I don't have anything.
You have good questions.
Always.
Ruth, questions? Tony, questions?
That's not very class, but it is. Like sheets there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to discussion. But
Oh, I'm just wondering.
no further questions.
Material cost.
Yeah, it's not. You'd think it would be the wash, but the guy who I'm having installed windows does this on like such a big basis that his labor is just cheap.
David Richardson, any questions?
Yeah, I thought Bob testified that he had suggested other window manufacturers for your consideration. Did you look at other ones other than the one that you're showing us today? And if so, if you did not, why not?
Sure, I did. I called a couple other companies. The one that I got the bid for was the best priced window available.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. So, I mean, so you called some of the manufacturers that Bob had suggested?
On the sheet, yes, sir.
And they cost more, but a lot more, a little bit more.
They're more than, well, no, they're more than that. the window, that was the best priced window is what I got quoted by Millennium. Everything else was higher than their bid price. It's not higher than the ones I'm proposing, it was higher than the historic on the historic list, that was the best priced window on the historic list. Was River Towns.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
And I don't see evidence of that. I know you presented it last month, but I don't have it here. So what's the cost difference between Rivertown and what you want to put it?
So my cost is $238,000 for the windows from Rivertown, and my cost is $108,000.
You say that included installation with one?
Correct, but my windows cost $600 a piece with install. And their windows, I can pull it up here, but their window cost is
They're about 900.
$900. And that's just for the window. That doesn't include the
That was
install.
metal clad, wood on the inside, or what were you finding?
Correct.
Alderman Ryan, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Bob, you have everything in the record that you need?
I've got one last thing. You guys had mentioned, and Bob had asked about doing a test fit window. Because these windows are put in, because they're only removing the sashes and putting them in with as minimal amount as possible, they're custom made. They take weeks, we're talking like 4 weeks, almost 2 months to get made. And then I've got to get on the schedule and get them put in. So every month that I run this property, it's $11,000. So the reason why I'm saying I can't do a test fit, but I can give you a very like-minded model, is that it's going to take me a month and a half to 2 months to get the window in to get a test fit. Also, I got to pay for the window. So I'd love to get the approval to put this in. If you agree, it's going to look very similar to that. And I have approval from a lot of people in the community that also agree that they would like to see this building not be dilapidated from the last 2 years it's been vacant. So.
Awesome.
Don't have anything really else to say beyond, this is my concern. I think I speak for myself, for all staff. This does not look like a good window. This is what it's gonna look like. You said, this is what it will look like. You think that is not appropriate. You can minimize the frame, it will look a little better, but again, we don't know. So if you do decide to approve the conditions, appreciate at least trying to minimize that appearance. But if that's it, I just don't see how it looks appropriate.
Is there somebody sitting in this room who is a doctor?
Your doctor.
With a wild handwriting situation.
Weston Harding.
Oh, it's you.
He was at 4170s.
It's Weston.
Yeah.
Where it says, please legibly write?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a signature. You said signed it. I thought signature. Sorry for that.
Good enough. Okay,
That's
no
I
doctor.
apologize for that.
And this concludes the testimony in this matter.
They're not wrapping it. Yeah, just again, that's part of the deal is they're not being wrapped. If anything is in the street facing side, they're not being wrapped. So that was established last time that please agree to not wrap the variables.
Commissioner Hannaford, you got a motion on agenda item A.
Yeah, just to get our discussion going, I move that the preservation board uphold the director's denial to install non-conforming aluminum windows in the building's street facing facades, street visible facades, as they do not comply with the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District standards. This is 4172 Russell.
Is there a second? Chair seconds, discussion.
Okay, so here's my main concern. If the ground for the variance is because of financial hardship, we're not picking the cheapest option that is compliant. The compliant option is $6,500 a unit. And that is cheaper than what he's proposing. So I'm not the one that can comment on if what he's proposing is better or worse, but if the variance is due to financial hardship, then that is cheaper. So it doesn't really jive with the financial hardship argument. That's the struggle I'm having. If someone else has a different argument we can go with, I'm open to hearing it.
Further discussion?
I'm just troubled because we have all of these approvals and they specify the type of window. They say as long as he uses this type of window, and he meets these requirements, we're cool with it. So I'm really confused because it's in contrast to what we're hearing from CRO. So that to me is, I'm not sure.
Further discussion?
Yeah, I mean, my struggle is, like you said, this is or like we've heard today, it's a very prominent property, with a lot of windows. I think allowing the, any variance without trying to meet the standards a little better is a big miss for us.
Or repairing the existing.
We're repairing the existing windows. I think we found out through testimony that there was a reason why somebody did come along, and sadly, I think Mr. Harding is finding that out also. Sadly, I think there's historic districts, this is kind of why we're here. Unfortunately, I think we heard through testimony that there are other options. On the other end, I'm a big proponent of providing houses for people, so it's tough for me. This cost me to pass down now if Mr. Harding has to pay for them, so it's a tough one, but I don't see how going with the cheapest is the option here.
Commissioner Robinson, I cut you off. Do you have discussion?
So a testimony that each unit was $6,500.
To restore the windows, like to have someone come work on the existing windows to get them operable and
Yeah.
working again, he said was $6,500 a unit.
Gotcha. Versus roughly 900 unit for the river town, counting maintenance.
Per unit, per window.
Yes, so per unit,
That's just for the window, not for the
Yes.
install.
understand.
Yeah.
So to restore it, like if there's 12 units, that's $78,000 versus to replace it with the wood from Rivertown was 238 or 60. It was in the 200s. So it was quite a bit more than the 78,000 restore estimate. What he told us.
Based on not restoring all of the units.
I don't know if he was gonna restore all the units or not. I was just multiplying it by the number of units. If he was going to restore all 12 units at $6,500 a unit, that'd be $78,000.
For repairing something that's old and.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I understand. I'm just trying to make it fair. Here.
That is the Secretary of Interior standards. That would be. With Park Service. It is appropriate.
Mr. Khalid?
Bob, just to clarify, so, we've got the older woman here, and then Stephanie Herbers is the building committee chair. Or she's from that building committee, so that's legitimate group that
Yes,
you talked to. So, well, I'm with kind of the way the board's flowing here of like, yeah, let's make it look right, but, I gotta say, this guy's done his homework. He's gotten the 2 approvals he needs that usually get you through, get you over the hump on something that's not conforming. I can respect, the fact that he's got a building that it's got a lot of windows he's gotta deal with, and he's trying to make it market rate and somehow rent these things out. So, I'm gonna go against what I usually do, which is always, let's go with the historic route. I'm going with I'd be with the builder on this one. He's got to figure out a way to get this thing on the market. He's come up with a solution. That's not perfect, but I get it, trying to restore old windows. I just tore out mine in Benton Park because they're rotten. They're only 35 years.
So then, Mike, based on your perspective, does the neighborhood and the alderwoman's concerns in these bullets about like minimizing the reveal and matching the openings, can that be satisfied? Because they're providing their approval with those conditions. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Can we also put those conditions on our approval? I
don't think you can give that window if you do that.
That was the testimony that we heard.
So we have their approval, but we have their approval on something that isn't what he's planning to do. That's what I'm trying to negotiate here.
And have you checked with your manufacturer, is there any alteration of that product to make it?
That is the biggest, I mean, the thing is once you remove the stack, oh, I'm sorry. So the way a window works is, and I've got a picture,
We don't do that.
What did I do?
sorry.
Now we. Just.
I thought you had the photo in here. I thought it saw it. Maybe not. When you remove the sash, oh, here, you can see it right here. So this is the window from the inside with the sashes removed, okay? So when you do a replacement window, that's where it has to go. If you start trying to go wider, which is impossible, you're now tearing apart the interior frame of the property. So that's with the replacement window, which is something that Shaw and the Alderwoman are both confirming on. That's as good as you can get. If you, go ahead.
Yeah, so
So,
there are at least a couple of us on the board that understand that.
okay,
But the profile of this window is just so far off from anything historic. It's the profile. I mean, the window itself just.
I'm trying, like Michael said, I'm trying to get a product on the market for good tenants. We're trying to nail it. I'm really wanting your help here, and that's what, the Alderwoman and the Shaw Neighborhood Committee understands that, right now there's just triple track bad storm windows out there. Let's put something nice in there.
We're not gonna have this argument with you.
Oh, I'm not.
We're arguing among ourselves here.
Okay, sorry.
Quite honestly, Mike. I've seen better looking vinyl.
Commissioner Richardson, you have discussion?
I was just going to say, I think both the alderperson and the neighborhood, I mean, they kind of, they want to approve this, but their condition makes it such that the window that we're showing here is not what they want to approve. I mean, the neighborhood says, we expect that Mr. Harding will ensure the vendor he works with maintains window sizes to match the original windows with minimal variation and properly installs them to reduce the exterior reveal of the inserted frame as much as possible. And what we've been showing doesn't do that. So if what is before us is to approve those windows, we can't approve those. And I don't think the neighborhood nor the alderperson wants those windows.
Alderman Ryan, do you have a comment?
No comments. Thank you.
Commissioners, further comments?
Can I make one statement to that, please?
No.
Commissioner?
No comments, no questions.
That concludes the discussion in this matter. So the motion before us, been made and seconded. It is to uphold the director's denial for agenda item A. Roll call, please.
Kevin Hamaker,
Yes.
Richard Cowell,
Yes.
Stanley Fowler,
No.
Ruth Kenoy, Mike Colleen,
Yes.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Alderman Ryan.
No.
Now, Bob?
Six yes. And three no.
Motion carries. Commissioner Hammaker, you got a motion on agenda item B.
I move that the preservation board uphold the director's denial to install non-conforming aluminum windows on 4176 Russell Boulevard's street visible facades as they do not comply with the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District standards.
I'll second. Commissioner, if you want the previous roll, if you want to vote against previous roll. Is there any objection to previous roll? Okay. Motion passed. Commissioners, how about a 5-minute break?
Great.
Second.
We figure it out.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Right. He would, yeah. Okay, thank you. Ma'am. I'm gonna mute, who's ever in the room. Okay, we're all back online, my online people, sorry, my online folks.
This meeting is back in order, calling agenda item C.
May we please skip that one? We're trying to get the applicants to show. They have not shown up. We please skip that one, come back to it. I know it's late in the game. We'll come back to it. Any luck?
Okay with that?
Well, they're not gonna, it sounds like. So I'll let that up to you then. They're not present. And really quick, I'll make one point on this one. This is Chris's item, and I'm not trying to steal Chris's thunder. I did speak with Shaw on this item. They did not hear from the applicant and they have just no comment. They're aware of it. There's just no comment on it. So Shaw knows about it. They didn't comment on it.
We'll see, we'll see if we can come back to it. Agenda item D.
And she wants to skip it.
I'm talking about the contract, that's probably said you went.
This is 3501 Utah Street. I'm Andrea Gagan, Cultural Resources Office. I swear to tell the truth. I need to enter into the record. Enabling ordinance 64689 is amended by 64925. The Tower Point ordinance 70938. The agenda, the PowerPoint presentation and application. And also letters of support for the project from the Tower Grove East Neighborhood Association and the Alderman. You should both have both of those. Okay, this is the building. This is location at the corner of Utah and Arkansas Avenue. This is the Arkansas Avenue elevation. And you can see at the back of the lot, there is a existing garage port.
Ms. Gagan,
Yes.
have you talked to the appellant about the condition that it be clad with a 4-inch cementous lap siding?
Yes, I have. He would rather do vinyl because of the cost difference, but he was gonna speak to that.
Then proceed.
This is the existing garage port on the property. This is the proposed Arkansas elevation. It would require a curb cut to be a new curb cut. This is the proposed site plan. The owner applied for the permit to do this because of the difficulty of entering the current garage port with an accessible vehicle that they use for his grandson.
Could you focus on the siding question?
Sure. As I said, it partially complies because garage port complies on location, massing, and scale requirements. The entry to the garage port proposed to be from the street, not the alley. And the proposed vinyl siding does not comply, as on corner properties, it's required that visible sides of a garage or garage port be cementitious siding or brick.
Commissioners, are we okay with the idea of the building?
I think the cause and idea is fine, then.
So it's just a question of siding. Commissioners online, you okay? Okay. So your recommendation for the record?
My recommendation is that the Preservation Board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port addition due to safety concerns with a condition that is clad with 4-inch cementitious siding, lap siding.
Let's hear from the appellant.
Good evening, board. Please forgive me because I'm just
Right, tell the truth.
I do. Woefully unprepared because I've never done it before. I've owned this property since 1996. It's originally a 2-family flat. Because I work for the fire department, I had to live in the city. So instead of bringing.
You got to live in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to live in the city. Anyway, it was a rental property. I lived upstairs and rented downstairs. And in 2014, I decided, my wife and I decided to renovate the home. But I want to say that when we were given permission, the fire department was given permission to move, that we could move to the counties, I decided not to go because I was born in the city, raised in the city, and I love the city. In 2014, we converted the home to a two-family flat. To a single-family flat. And since then, we've put in probably close to $300,000 in renovations. All new, everything's new, it's all new infrastructure and everything. Last year we just did the Dylan molding across the top. It was 10. We tore that down and replaced it. But since then we have a 6-year-old grandson. His name is Rocky. He has a disease called Kernicterus, which is a high level of when he had a high level of bilirubin, which caused cerebral palsy. So he needs constant care. The problem is we have an accessible van and it wouldn't fit. Okay,
We're fine with your building.
okay. But the problem is, what I'm saying is, the house about a block away has vinyl siding. And my concern is the cost of it, because I'm gonna have to replace the fence, and at some point install a ramp to get in a ramp. And I'm close to retirement, so it's just a cost I wasn't planning on, because it could triple. I think it would probably triple the cost from vinyl siding to this cement, this lap board, and the lap board is not maintenance free. And at my age, I don't want to get up there on a ladder and start painting and stuff like that. So
You're fine, man.
wait a minute. Look, I've been in the fire service. I've been in the fire service for 47 years. I'm 75 years old now, and I don't want to, I don't want to climb ladders anymore, and anything like that. So I'm looking at something that's maintenance free right now. But that's my only concern, just the cost, the additional cost.
Can you give us rough numbers?
I looked and it could probably, that cement board goes anywhere from $14, I guess, a square foot, up to like $53 a square foot. And vinyl is much cheaper. Like I said, I just didn't, budget that much in there. I'm trying to do a lot of this work myself.
Do you have a
to save some,
The per square foot the vinyl is, just like roughly?
about $4.
Okay, thank you.
And what do you want us to do?
Well, I'd like to be able to install the vinyl, because like I said, the house, just a block away with the same Arkansas facing entrance. But their garage was done in 2008 before 2017. I need to towards that, so I wasn't quite sure. And there's another house also that has Arkansas facing garage, and it has vinyl also. So
What color is it gonna be?
not really sure yet, I mean, the addition that I did when I renovated the home is kind of like a gray, but it's not gonna be anything wow. The house on the street has I think it's like a vanilla color or something like that, but anything, just to cut down on its cost. But like I said, basically I'm looking at do gray to match what I've already done with the room addition back.
You open to other colors?
I would be,
How about a nice mural?
excuse me.
How about a mural?
Ignore that.
Don't.
Also,
Fire department.
what he's talking about as far as the color, that's the room addition.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Anything else you'd like to add for the record, folks?
No, that's it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your time here. Thanks.
I have a question for staff. So the garage port directly behind him that he shares an alley with is vinyl on the alley side, presumably because that's not street facing. So in his case, is the only facade that's street facing being the one where his door will be on the Arkansas side?
Yes, now technically, it says. Technically, the standards say any visible sides, it doesn't say street facing.
So in your opinion, would the alley side of his, which would be the side of his garage in this case, be visible?
Yeah.
You would, okay. So he would have two visible sides,
Yes.
technically, okay. Thank you.
Commissioners, we need a motion so we can discuss this. Fowler, a motion?
Not touching that one.
Ruth, a motion.
I move that the Preservation Board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port addition due to safety concerns with the condition that. Sorry, I was thinking about this. The condition that is clad in 4-inch cementous slab siding.
Is there a second?
No, works out.
I hear no second. I'll try again on the motion.
Okay.
Ruth?
I have another question for the office. Does it have to be this cement lath? Because there are a number of different wood, finished aluminum, beaded tongue, roof siding, roof of roof veneer. Are there cheaper materials than the cement slab siding that we could consider?
I don't know, possibly, there is,
The aluminum perhaps?
I don't know that we can do aluminum, but we could maybe, there is smart side siding.
Could we look into that as a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Instead of,
other
you know-
possible options that would be still be, and it would be a finished product. It wouldn't be something that you'd have to paint or anything. But I don't know what the cost difference with that is.
Overturn the director's denial with the condition of its clad of material acceptable to CRO staff. They're calling it.
I know, I'm struggling with the color thing, because if this was like a place that required brick, I'd be like, all right, but you gotta paint it red. But here, there's nothing about the color. And a lot of the ones in the area are painted this kind of tan, beigey color. So in that case, if we're gonna require something kind of close, you might as well require it to be the same colors this thing already is.
Do they call it a color in the detail or the section of it? No. I think I'm okay with just saying, pick out the flag piece.
Make your motion.
I move that the Preservation Board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port addition due to safety concerns.
Second.
Does that cover?
No, we need a condition.
I don't want to talk about it. So I'll make the motion.
I make the motion
I don't need a condition.
that the Preservation Board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port addition due to safety concerns
Just
with the condition
to keep the record going.
that.
Does the second, did anybody second that motion?
Ruth
did.
I thought Ruth seconded the motion, so we have a motion on the floor.
Well, the one that
He took it out. He rescinded his motion to the.
But you rescinded it?
Okay, I did. Ruth, a motion? I'm sorry for the
Do I
confusion.
have to say all that? We've already, we're going to, recommend that the Preservation Board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port addition due to safety concerns with the condition that the exterior material is clad with, a material that Cultural Resources Office and the neighborhood standards approve of. And work on a solution to find something more affordable than the cement slab siding.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. I'm fine with that. Commissioners online?
That's
When
fine.
did When did these standards go into place?
2017.
So every other vinyl garage
On the,
that lines Arkansas down the road there, which there are like 5 if you just go down the road a bit. Those were built since 2017
it
or,
predates.
oh, they
They
predate,
Yeah,
okay,
predate.
okay, 2017,
Right.
got it, okay. Should have gotten on this project a little quicker. Okay, got it.
Didn't have the money.
I know.
Going all this out of pocket, you know,
Yeah.
but they didn't
Gotcha.
have money.
Mr. Gagan, can you find something that's affordable?
Yeah, I can give it another option.
And you're not gonna hit him with just cement? Further discussion, commissioners? If not, call a roll, Bob.
Oh, sure. Sorry, who made the original motion? Sorry, Ruth Kenoy,
Yes.
Stan Fowler,
Yes.
Kevin Hamaker,
Yes,
Michael Colleen,
Yes.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Alderman Ryan,
Yes.
Richard Gallup.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
thank you for your service.
Thank you all so much and have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season.
That's not. Sure.
We're gonna hold on just one second. We're gonna wait and wait.
This year. Nice.
Almost all of them, including the house they grew up in, like 5 blocks down, has an Arkansas access.
Yeah.
And we have, my parents have an original garage, so we've always had enough time. So it's weird. I don't know what
There are a lot of, there are quite a few.
Yeah, yeah, like all of Arkansas has side access. Strange.
They put the house up on the market. Exciting. It's just not fun. That's. They did fun. So I couldn't say sandwiches.
The cementitious.
I don't know. Why isn't it not just cement?
Cement board.
Is that not the right word? That means something else?
Did you make a word up?
Cementitious. No,
That's
true.
That's real. Cementitious.
Cinnamon
Okay.
twist.
Yeah, I'm real mixed up now.
It's basically cement board, but it's like fibers, it's not exactly.
It's like,
It's not like they're pouring.
Cement for anything that has cement.
someone used the word trustable a week or two ago, and we were laughing so hard until we checked the dictionary. Turns out trustable is okay.
Like you can trust it, it's trustable?
Oh. It's a grand total. Great.
Has agenda item C materialized yet?
They
So-
have, did you do?
I talked to the contractor and apparently the owner is just decided, just ghosted him. So,
Okay, let's do agenda item E and then.
So there's one more point of oddness for that one. Chris has, the house is for sale.
yes,
So there's also
That one,
the one that, yeah, yeah. And it's next to an apartment building. We're guessing it's just part of the deal, like it's under it's contingent. So. All right. Sorry. Pretty good.
Agenda item E.
Andrea Gagan, Cultural Resources, I swear to tell the truth. I need to enter into the record enabling ordinance 64689 is amended by 64925. Skeeter Bolivar Historic District Ordinance 57688, amended by 70821. The agenda, the PowerPoint presentation application. and a letter of support from the Skinner Bolivar Historic District Review Committee.
Okay, hold right there. Commissioners, do we need for this? No. Somebody have a motion?
Sure. I move that the preservation board.
Is the appellant present? Will you step up and register your appearance?
Yeah.
But then stop.
Okay.
Will you tell the truth?
Yes,
What is your name?
Kevin Logan.
You want us to overturn this?
No.
Yes.
No.
I mean, yes, I'm sorry, yeah. Yes. Yes,
Yes, you did.
yes, thanks.
Okay, motion, commissioners?
Great. I move that the preservation board overturn the director's denial to construct the garage port as it complies with the historic district standards for design site conditions. Prevent access from the alley as the standards require.
Second.
Your discussion. Hearing none, call roll please.
I'll do it. Kevin Hamaker,
Yes.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Stan Fowler,
Yes.
Ruth Kenoy,
Yes.
Michael Colleen,
Yes.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
Alderman Ryan,
Yes.
Richard Keller.
Yes,
Ayes have it.
Sorry, you had to wait.
that was my fault.
No, he deserved it. He needed to stay longer.
Yes, take care.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, calling agenda item C.
Here.
Let's get it back to it, Chris. Sorry, I blew it. Just do it like regular. Just do it like regular.
All right.
Now I'm just pushing buttons. There it is. Let me come back.
Tell the truth.
Proceed.
So I want to enter into the record the PowerPoint. And ordinance number 59400, which is the Shaw Neighborhood Local Historic District ordinance. All right, so this is a fence at 4211 Shenandoah Avenue in the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District. And you're looking at the house in question. And it's an appeal for director's denial of an 8-foot tall fence along the side and the back of the property. And I'll show you pictures. So here's the house. Here's the location. It's right next door to a large apartment building, just west of the intersection of Shenandoah and Clem Street. And here's an illustration. Apologize, that yellow line's maybe not showing up as well as I thought it would, but you can see along the side and along the back, a short distance to connect with the garage. Here is looking at street context, looking on the south side of Shenandoah, which is the opposite side of the street. This is looking west down the street. There's the north side on the right and the south side on the left of the town. Or you can have a question.
No, we're just coming.
Admiring the houses.
But it's a beautiful neighborhood. And here's looking at street level context, looking east down Shenandoah, the south side of the street on the right. And there's that large apartment building. I apologize, there's still leaves on the trees when I photograph this. And now this is context. This is the east side of the property. Currently, there is a palisade fence that's 6 feet tall. I was there at Hotspot that day. Originally, they applied for a 10-foot tall fence, but the building division told them that they could, according to their standards, can only do an 8. I routed it due to the fact that our standards, or I should say, the Shaw standards say only 6 feet. Okay. So staff recommendation is that the Preservation Board uphold the director's denial as the height of the fence does not comply with the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District standards. It is within the boundary of the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local District. So, relevant legislation, section 6, structures, section 6. Basically, the relevant is all side fences shall be limited to 6 feet in height and does not comply. The proposed fence would be 8 feet tall. Preliminary findings and conclusion. So the Cultural Resources Office consideration of the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District standards and the specific criteria for fences led to these preliminary findings. 4211 Shenandoah Avenue is located in the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District. The proposed fence would be 8 foot tall or 8 feet tall and installed at the east and north sides of the property. The Shaw standards limit heights to no more than 6 feet.
The Shaw Neighborhood Association has not commented on this matter. And like I said, based on the preliminary findings, the Cultural Resources Office recommends that the Preservation Board uphold the director's denial to install an 8-foot fence. Any questions?
Questions? Hearing no questions, a motion.
I move the Preservation Board upholds the directive denial of, as the height of the fence does not comply with the Shaw Neighborhood Certified Local Historic District standards.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
But that fence is already like 4 feet off the ground.
it's kind of wild.
They're not here to talk about it. I don't think there's no reason really to talk about this.
Agreed. Bob, a roll?
What do you want to do? Should I do the roll?
It's got to be somebody
so-
by the secretary.
So and maybe I'll start with the commissioners online. Sir Dave Robinson.
How about we go David Richardson?
Oh, damn, jeez, I'm really sorry.
Yes.
One screwed it up.
Yes.
David Richardson, my apologies. Alderman Narayan.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mr. Colleen.
Yes.
Ms. Kenoy.
Yes.
Mr. Fowler.
Yes.
Ms. Homaker.
Yes.
And Chairman Kalp.
Yes.
Done it.
So
Okay.
I didn't screw it up after.
The motion.
Good job.
Moving on to the agenda. Check lost. The rules discussion.
You had one job, Richard, you lost your good.
Here we are. Director's report.
A reminder that we are going to be meeting December 15th next month. Just everybody wants to enjoy the holiday week. Beyond that, who's ready for policies and procedures discussion?
So has everybody had a chance to read the most recent iteration of policies and procedures?
Yes.
Not a lot of guesses. I heard all, raise your hand. No, not everybody, yes. That was Olivia.
No.
Throwing her voice forward saying yes. Yes. Yes.
Would we like to walk through the revisions, or have specific questions, whatever is the best use of your time?
The online commissioners. Have you read? Or are you satisfied to vote on without reading these rules of procedure?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson has one comment. So Olivia and I spent an hour going over my comments last Friday. And there's one issue remaining that we said we would just, or I said we just probably need to talk about as a board, which is on page 12 of the rules. It's in the Code of Conduct section 3A as an apple. Basically, 3 says that if you've recused yourself from business, then you shall not participate in any votes, discussions, blah, 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 which is fine. And then 3A says, in the event it's necessary for a member to present or testify before the board regarding business from which the member has recused himself or herself, the member shall first disclose the nature of his or her conflict of interest. The member shall only present factual material or testimony, not advocacy. The first sentence there I have no problem with. It's the second sentence of 3A. We're on page, I need page 12.
That's always fine. Page 12, yes, sir.
Which problem in the red line?
With the red line version, David, it might be original. You have a preference?
It doesn't matter.
Page 12. and
Here we go. So 3A, go up a little bit.
I'm sorry, I'm just horrible.
There you go.
There we go. So 3A there, that second sentence in A says the member shall only present factual material or testimony, not advocacy. And discussing this with Olivia can correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't a legal issue. This is a policy issue. This is a perception or an appearance issue that, you know, if a member has recused him or herself and then they go testify Are we as fellow commissioners, it's gonna look like we're just, if we voted in favor of it, that we're just kowtowing or going along with it because we like each other. And my point here would be, I gave an example that when when I was getting approval for a rear window, a bigger, larger window opening in my kitchen on the rear of my house. I don't think I just did a factual material testimony. I think I advocated for myself as well. And this says I could not do that. And I think we're just setting ourselves up. Likewise, I think Commissioner Hamaker had the same issue with her house, that it's not just factual material or testimony. I think it's a fine line between that and advocacy. And I don't think this sentence, so I'd like this sentence stricken. And it's my understanding that Olivia and the city councilor's office like this sentence, but it is not a legal issue. It's a policy perception appearance issue.
I would be willing to excise the sentence and present it to the city councilor as a gift.
I don't care with getting rid of it.
Commissioner Collins, you have argued before us before, often advocating, we've often voted, sometimes voted against you.
You have. I remember those.
On materials, on a blade sign, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, you gave me that.
Oh.
No, I think it's a good idea to strike it. What said earlier though about us, talking with the commissioners and trying to drum up support, yeah, I don't think we should be able to do that, but if we're actually up there. Like say I've got a client that needs something done, I'm not just gonna say. I'll do more than just facts, right? So and then it also doesn't address like what, in my case or in David's case, what if someone has firm of mind, this person, I have to accuse myself. Can that colleague of mine still advocate? It's a little.
We're spouse.
For spouse. So, but regardless, I think it should.
Tony, what do you think?
I think it should be straight.
Commissioner?
To be clear, I mean, a spouse. So Olivia and I talked about this one. It's like, so I said, what should I have done, Olivia? Had my wife Colleen go, and she said yes. And I said, there's no way Colleen would ever appear before us. So it's the same thing. Like, if there's a hush client, again, a fellow attorney could appear before you. And I historically haven't appeared before you except for my personal matter. But again, I think it does. I still think the sentence should be eliminated such that if Mike Colleen needs to, a smaller shop needs to testify, advocate. I mean, he's recused himself. He's not going to be lobbying the board. He should be able to advocate for his client. Similarly, we, if our houses are involved, should be able to personally advocate for ourselves.
Are there any other changes that we would like to consider to this draft document? Ruth, you've got the freshest files.
It looks good to me.
Alderman Ryan, this was your idea in the first place. Is there anything that you'd like to add or subtract from here?
Nope.
Okay. And then I think that our sense that we're okay with this minus that sentence, then if you're ready to vote, I propose a motion to approve this draft and to recommend to the planning commission that they approve.
So moved.
Sure.
With,
Yeah.
with
Yes. Yep.
that sense to speak, sure.
Second.
Okay. I think we've discussed this probably to death.
Yes.
Through several turns of the calendar, so probably call a roll.
Sure.
But one comment? I just want to say that Olivia worked really hard on it, and I appreciate her putting up with all my comments. Thank you.
We'll change it back. Don't
He's
worry.
gonna get you a gift.
Catherine Hamaker,
Yes.
David Richardson.
Yes.
Are you sure? Stanley Fowler,
Yes.
Ruth Kenoy, Michael Colleen,
Yes.
Anthony Robbins,
Yes.
Richard Carroll.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Okay, we got it.
So the planning commission will change that back.
Yeah,
Chairman, I move that, next month we have a potluck holiday thing. Second that.
So if in fact, the planning commission, there is a provision here with a 2/3 vote.
That we
This board,
get
I mean.
this guy off.
That we can take it off.
I believe Commissioner made a, motion and I second, thank you.
We're going to follow the December meeting.
we'll send an email around about that being a valid idea.
I like that, I like that.
I like that.
Commissioner Colleen made a motion, I seconded it.
Hey, there-
Prior
I need to
to-
wait to call roll.
There is no motion to potluck.
I do it every year. and I-
It's on page 12 of this document, actually. Potluck provision in the new standard.
Go to the order, here,
Thanksgiving.
nothing.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
We stand adjourned.
Thank you all.
I will send an email around about
Potluck.
snick snacks, as we call them at home.
Thanks for bringing us such.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
So.
Good luck.
Good holidays.